Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Locks of the Day podcast. This is episode number 100. Absolutely insane. We're on a heater, as you guys know. But first off, we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in consistently. Like I said, this is podcast 100. That's been about 2 years. Am I right?
Yep,
About 2 years
sure.
of podcast, which is absolutely insane. That's already gone by. But yeah, we've just been feeding you guys locks. We've had our ups and downs going on heaters, a couple losses here and there. But you know what? We're profitable. That's the key. That's the main thing. And like I said, we're on a heater right now with podcasts, and I don't expect anything to change, especially on a special edition like 100. So today we're going to give you all of our premium locks for college basketball, NBA, and tennis. So we're going to get right into this. Andy, you got the first three-star kid. Go ahead and give it to him.
Yep, I'm gonna kick it off with NBA, and it's gonna be the Knicks money line minus 180. Little hefty, but gonna keep this one short. Home game for the Knicks here, taking on the Pistons. Looking like the Knicks will be without OG and Anunoby, and Pistons are still dealing with the suspension of starting center Jalen Duran and Isaiah Stewart. So both their centers are out. Without both their big guys, Pistons are they're gonna struggle defending Karl Anthony Towns. He's been having a solid season, averaging 20 and 12. Brunson obviously doing his thing, averaging 28 a game, which is just ridiculous. But this is the third matchup and final matchup between these two teams. Pistons won both the games earlier. They actually won them both by like 30 plus. But Karl Anthony Towns didn't play either of those games. Pistons also shot the ball at a ridiculous rate. In the first game, they shot 55% from the field and 52% from three. In the second game, they shot 53% from the field and 43% from three. I don't see that happening for a third straight game, so just give me the Knicks money line at minus 180.
Time
Sweet.
out. So you're telling me Pistons are 2-0 against the Knicks, but the Knicks are minus 180?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zach.
Yes. Two stars, and it'd be the Orlando Magic -8, -115. This one's kind of short and sweet too. They're playing the Kings tonight, first matchup of the year between the two. Kings have everyone out. Sabonis got ruled out for the year yesterday. Zach LaVine got ruled out for the year yesterday. DeAndre Hunter's out with an eye injury. Oh God. I don't know if I'm missing anyone else. I don't know. Russell Westbrook might be questionable, but he should play. Pretty much looking at their team in the last game they played against the Jazz when they lost by 30, it's basically DeMar DeRozan and a bunch of rookies and bench guys that are just trying to get an NBA contract. I mean, these guys have just been getting killed in their last couple games, and they're also giving up on an average about 121 points per game, which is one of the worst in the NBA. And especially with all these younger guys playing out there, there's not going to really be too much defense going on. From the Magic's end, they're only giving up about 107 to 108 points a game. They're not scoring as many. They're only scoring about 110. But at the same time, you have a team like Orlando, they're probably going to put up 120 in this one, if not more. And even if they don't put up that many, I don't see the Kings scoring that many points either. This Kings team is not a team that shoots a lot of threes. And it's been kind of evident that with this new lineup that they've put out there, they haven't been hitting a lot of threes either. This team can barely score 100 points. I think the Magic should cover these 8 points pretty easily. And it's the first matchup between these two. I think when it goes back to Orlando and the spread's going to be like 15, I think that might be when the Kings decide to cover it and have their fair share of the money in that second matchup and, break some people's parlays and some spreads. So, but Magic -8, -115, nothing crazy. We're going to roll with it and see how it goes.
Love it. Two easy locks for NBA right there. And we're going to switch it right into college basketball. So, Andy, you got another three-star kid.
Yep. Three-star for college ball is going to be Mercer minus 10 and a half. It's a minus 110. Going to keep this one short too. Mercer's 17 and 10, 9 and 5 in conference. They're playing Chattanooga. Chattanooga's 10 and 17, 4 and 10 conference. Both these teams already played. Here's another little one. Chattanooga won the first game in Chattanooga by 4. Now Mercer's at home and favored by 10 points. So it's like, weird. But not. Mercer hasn't lost a home game all year in and out of conference. And they're winning those home games in conference by an average of 16 and a half points. So there's your 14 and a half point swing from losing by 4 to Chattanooga. Now they're a 10 and a half point favorite at home. Mercer is the third best team in the country when it does come to covering spreads. They're 18 and 6 covering at 75%. Hard to fade a team that wins and covers. Chattanooga's 1 and 7 in their last 8 games and second to last in conference. They're playing for fucking nothing. While Mercer is only 2 games out of first place in their conference. So just give me Mercer minus 10 and a half. They're gonna roll Chattanooga tonight. And lock that in.
Lock it in. Zach.
So for the two-star, we've got Utah Tech +5 at a -115. Utah Tech, they're taking on UT Arlington tonight. This is going to be the third matchup of the year between these guys. In the Western Athletic Conference, there's only 7 teams. So in conference play, they actually play each other 3 times. So first matchup between these two teams, UT Arlington played Utah Tech at Utah Tech. They beat them by 4. The last game was in Utah Tech. Utah Tech beat them in double overtime. Now they're matching up for the third time at UT Arlington, and the spread is 5 points. I don't think it really makes too much sense in especially where these two teams are at right now. I think this line they're basing it off of the past 2 games. I mean, UT Arlington right now has lost 5 in a row, and they've been getting beat in overtime. They've lost close games, but some of those games have been blowouts. Utah Tech's on the opposite side. They've won 5 in a row. They beat some of the best teams in the conference. They're covering the spread in all these games as well. They're now 16-9 against the spread this season. UT Arlington is now 10-12 with a lot of pushes in there. I think the big thing to look at in this game is I will say UT Arlington is a top team in the NCAA defensively. However, they are one of the worst teams in the NCAA offensively as well. They're bottom, and I mean 350 in 3-point percentage, which I think there's like 360 D1 teams. So these guys don't hit threes. They're not good in field goal percentage. I mean, you name it, they're basically in the red. Defensively, probably in the green. Utah Tech, offensively, right around that middle range, but defensively, they're a very stout, very good team. They're also very, I would say, center heavy, center and forward heavy, where a lot of these guys are 6'7", 6'8". They're bigger than most NCAA teams. They don't really have like a true center, but a lot of these guys are also all seniors. So they're a very senior heavy team. They play 9 guys, 6 of them are seniors. And one being their best transfer, a kid named Ethan Potter. He was a Utah Valley transfer. Kid's putting up 16 a game for them. I mean, this team has just kind of put it all together towards the end of the year. They're now a top team in the WAC. And I think where they're really going to get them is on field goal percentage. I think that's probably the one thing that Utah Tech does best. And I mean, the first game that these two guys played was a 55-52 game. So I could very easily see the same kind of thing tonight. Low scoring game. Utah Valley keeps it close. Even if UT Arlington does pull off the win, I don't see this game being more than 5 points, as both these games have only been 1 possession games. These two teams kind of battle just because they both aren't crazy offensively and they're both good defensively. So I think Utah Tech getting 5 points here is just too much. So we're going Utah Tech +5 at a -115.
Beautiful. So that wraps up the NBA and college basketball locks. And I'll wrap it up with the last tennis premium picks. Going to rip it off with a 3-star scheduled to start at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time today. Francis Tiafoe money line at a -155 versus Zachary Savada. Tiafoe is number 28 in the world, while Zachary is number 106 in the world. This match will be played on hard court. Zachary is 13-2 in his last 15 matches, so Buddy's been on absolute fire. And we don't care much about that, though. I'll give him some credit because he's definitely beaten some pretty solid players within that stretch, some that I wouldn't expect him to, actually, but nobody the level of Tiafoe. So once again, I just don't care. Tiafoe is 7-4 in his last 11 matches, but Tiafoe has played guys like Alcaraz, Medvedev, Demonauer, Kachanov, etc. And it's simply just a different level of tennis. Like, there's levels to this game, and it's just different. And Zachary would respectfully get smacked by all those players. It wouldn't even be close. So Tiafoe is just the better player in nearly every aspect of the game. I think this line is exceptional value. It's just that simple. So lock in a 3-star Francis Tiafoe money line at a -155. Also scheduled to start at 2:30 p.m. We are going with the 2-star Tomas Etcheverry at a -4.5 at a +100 versus Vilius Gabis. Etcheverry is number 51 in the world, while Gabis is number 126. This match will be played on clay, which is both of their best surface, especially Etcheverry. This is where he shines. Since the new season has been underway, Etcheverry has been absolutely dialed in, pretty much playing a lot of solid players as well and competing with very good guys, constantly playing good players and beating most of them. Gabis, on the other hand, is 9-2 in his last 11, but his competition is nowhere near the same. Honestly, kind of garbage. Etcheverry most likely would have gone 11-0 in those matches, so there's definitely a difference. I would actually put a lot of money that Etcheverry would have gone 11-0 in those matches. Those are like lower tiered players. And yeah, Etcheverry is just a smarter and quicker guy on the court. On clay, that's massive. So I just expect him to handle this match with ease. I think 4.5 is cake. So lock in a little 2-star Tomas Etcheverry -4.5 at a +100. You boys got anything else?
No, just lock those in.
Lock them all in.
Got
6 picks
100.
for you right there. Yep. Six
Sweep it
picks
up.
for you right there. NBA, college basketball, tennis for podcast 100. I mean, come on. Can't complain with that.
Mm-mm.
But we're all set, boys.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you guys so much once again for tuning into Locks of the Day podcast 100, and we will see you next week. Peace.